And let's not forget last Tuesday's incident.
Disco girl, coming through. That girl is you.
Don't come in! Don't come in!
You're listening to girly Icelandic pop sensation BABA?
No, I wasn't. It's not important.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Pining for the Falls, the podcast where everyone endures a test of manliness. I'm Fire Princess Lily. I just woke up, but I'm here, and I'm joined, as always, by my good friend, Dr. Sea Monster. Hey, Doc. How you doing?
I'm great. How are, everything is good for me today.
Good. What have you been up to since we last recorded this podcast?
Not a lot. I did finish Steven Universe.
Nice. What'd you think?
It was really good. A lot of great stuff. A few of the moments were a lot for me.
Understandable. Very, very emotional. Good way. I think. The episode where they talk about Steven's like PTSD and how he has it. That episode was rough.
Yeah.
You all right?
Yeah.
Just thinking about. Okay. We don't have to talk about it.
No, it's like I think it handled things really, really honestly and very realistically, which I think is the important part.
Right. It's like, woof. Just poor Steven. Also, we find out that Greg is, not the best dad. Like, I mean, he's still a good dad, but like
we saw like some of the flaws of how he did things.
Yeah, like
which again, it's more realistic and honest.
It is. I mean, I think that's what happens when you raise kids. I don't know. I don't have kids. Is you try to raise them like, you're like, oh, I'm not going to make any of the mistakes that my parents made. And sometimes that leads to like overcorrection.
Yeah.
At least that's what I assume. Like I said, I don't have kids. No. It's not that I don't want kids. I just don't have them. It's just not the time. Maybe ever. We'll see. What else have you been up to?
Not much. Got some writing done. Going. Been gonna try and pick up a video game that I have downloaded already. I just haven't started up yet, but I will be doing that soon.
What game?
Secret of Mana. The remake.
The remake of Secret of Mana? Nice. Very cool. Never played that game.
I did enjoy the original, but I've been looking forward to trying out the remake. A lot of Nintendo JRPG.
Very cool. JRPGs were where it was at back in the day. Although I guess, the remake of Final Fantasy VII, JRPGs are now still where it's at.
Yes. And whenever that comes on Steam, I'm probably going to check it out.
I broke down and I bought it for my PlayStation 4. Like, a physical copy.
So I'll buy it for my PlayStation 4. Totally have.
Well, I mean, I married into a family that was like, video games, gotta have the consoles, and so that's why we have them. So, lucky me. Is that it? Anything else? Nothing?
An essay contest for it's a small scale thing, but it might be fun,
Right.
We'll see how that goes.
Okay. All right then. Very cool. Me, I remember what I wanted to complain about on our podcast just the other day, because I knew there was something that I could not remember that I wanted to bitch about. But at the same time, I don't know that if I can. How caught up are you with the Harley Quinn show?
I think I might have not watched like the most recent episode.
Does corn mean anything to you? No? Then never mind. I cannot complain about it. So I won't. But, we're gonna talk about it eventually, because I have feelings. And I feel like I've been lied to. So, false bill of goods, folks, that has been sold to me by this show. And, I mean, I'm still gonna watch it, but I just feel betrayed.
That bad?
I mean, they still have time to swerve me, so we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. You haven't seen it yet, so we'll see. We'll see. What else? Well, as we kind of talked about on the Trigger podcast, the semifinals for the AEW Dynamite TV tournament title is happening this week. We get both the matches. The match of Cody Rhodes versus Darby Allin, which is sure to be, a really great match. And then the match of Lance Archer versus Dustin Rhodes. Yes, both Rhodes are in the tournament. They're both in the semifinals. They're not facing each other, which is probably good. I mean, you only need so much blood on TV. And when the Rhodes wrestle each other, it is like a bloodbath for like legit. So you don't want to get like, too crazy. But I still think that, well, Dustin Rhodes is going to die. Maybe legitimately this week, which I kind of explained previously. Dustin Rhodes is over 50, which, you can still wrestle over 50. Chris Jericho does it. Chris Jericho is really in great shape, and Dustin Rhodes is in really great shape. But he's wrestling Lance Archer, who is known as the Murder Hawk Monster, who believes, or at least his catchphrase is, everybody dies. And he wrestles in such a fashion that it's just like, wrestling does hurt. Like, sure, there's a little give to the ring. There are some, to compress the landings and whatever. But man, that guy, he throws you into the mat. Legitimately. And if I were a wrestler, I wouldn't want to wrestle him. And that's why I'm not a wrestler, because, they're just people I wouldn't want to wrestle. So I wouldn't die. And to be a wrestler, you have to have a...
Pause.
Okay, pausing. So as I was saying, to be a wrestler, you have to have like a sense of fearlessness that I just do not. What the fuck? I do not have. Sorry, I looked as I'm talking. I'm also looking through YouTube because multitasking. And somebody has drawn a Gravity Falls: The Next Generation Part 2 is what I'm looking at here, and in like the preview. Like, it scrolls through, like, the video a little bit. They have Dipper and Pacifica, like, I guess, married. Like, okay, terrible ship. That's a personal preference. But they have a picture of Wendy with, like, a gazillion fucking kids looking miserable. And, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Whoever did this. You know what? I'm not even going to call them out. But whoever fucking did that, like, seek some help. Yeesh.
And you're saying you found some bad fan art that I suppose is weird, emotional bullshit about the artist?
Yeah, like their personal beef with the characters. Like, oh no, Wendy didn't share, Dipper's emotions, and that means she's probably gonna burn out and have a bunch of kids like a dumb redneck. Blah blah blah. Like, eat. Never mind. It doesn't really elicit that sort of response. But, seek help. Wendy's almost 18. Dipper's 12, well, 13 by the end of the series. Like, come on.
That subplot was resolved.
Get over yourselves. Also, Pacifica, yike. I mean, Pacifica gets better, but we'll talk about that.
We can talk about Pacifica when we get to episodes that focus on her.
Yeah.
especially the one in season 2.
Right. Oof. So, yeah, I mean, I haven't really been. Oh, I've been watching the dinosaurs, which I mentioned, last time. But man, that show. I keep mentioning that it got away with murder, but woof. There was an entire episode about sexual harassment. Like, legitimately. There was a character named Sexual Al Harris. And the
I remember
question,
that character.
yeah. And the episode title was, "What did Sexual Al Harris meant?" Like, that is, like... And it goes on about sexual harassment, and, like, the end of that episode is, like, Monica, the woman who was harassed, loses her suit against, the corporation to, get her job back because she got fired for not dating Sexual Al Harris. But the end of that episode, Charlene's like, men aren't just going to, like, give us, rights or treat us fairly. We have to, demand it. And we're an advanced society. How long could that take? It just stings. That show just stings sometimes. Fuck. But they get away with a lot. They also make fun of their critics a whole lot. Like, in the meta humor. Like, one episode, Earl's like, "I want to watch that show with the puppets." And Fred's like, "Oh, but that's for kids." He's like, "No, it has a lot of biting social commentary and is actually very smart." it's a rib at people who are like, dinosaurs, it's for kids because, they're all puppets and animatronics and whatever. And there's another part where the grandma dinosaur is like, "I can't believe they're using such language on TV." And Fran's like, "Well, it teaches kids something." And she's like, "I don't want kids to learn anything. I just want them to have nice, safe, wholesome TV." And it's just like, dang, y'all are really, like, going for somebody. And it's good. Like, when I was a kid, I did not pick up on, like, any of this stuff. And being an adult, I'm like, ooh, okay. It's fun being an adult and watching old shows meant for all audiences, because you pick on a lot of stuff that you just didn't.
I think I understood a fair share of it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the messages were pretty clear.
Oh yeah, well, a lot of messages are like in your face, but there's just some that are like, that was an under the radar joke.
Yeah.
So what else? Oh, I started watching Happy Season 2. I don't know why I'm watching it. I know that I watched Season 1, and I had a lot of fun watching it. As messed up as it was. Season 2 just decided to go way further. And I don't know why I'm watching it at all. Send help. I'm also caught up on DuckTales Season 3? Season 3? Yes. Which they have revealed Goofy. He made a cameo in his Goof Troop attire, which was really cool. Saw pictures of Max and Roxanne. It was nice. We haven't seen, Roxanne since the House of Mouse. So, she exists in the DuckTales universe. Also got to see Daisy Duck, which was lots of fun. That was in, like, the latest episode. She's a good character, like her. Watch DuckTales. It's really good. Like,
I've seen episodes. I've not gotten very deep into the series yet.
Oh.
It's something I might pick up soon.
Yeah, it's good. Like, I don't know if you watched the original DuckTales. I assume you have, because, it's a timeless classic and you're about the right age. You're like my age, so.
I did watch DuckTales and Troop and Darkwing Duck and most of those related shows.
Yeah. The Disney Afternoon. They're basically remaking the Disney Afternoon, but just as DuckTales. It's all there. The Rescue Rangers have made an appearance. Darkwing Duck has made an appearance. They're saying that Blue from Tailspin will make an appearance. Like, it's just the Disney Afternoon, but one show. And I'm all about it. It's really good. Oh, they also made mention of the gummy bears, like, in an episode.
Saw that.
Which is crazy to me. You want to talk about Gravity Falls? 'Cause I don't think there's anything else I can talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about Gravity Falls.
You're like, finally. Sheesh. I get it. We open up on the Mystery Shack. It's just a regular day. And Tyler, Cute Biker, that's his name, is trying to find an early... He likes to get his Christmas shopping done super early. It's the summer. Like, this whole series takes place over the summer. And so he's really getting it done early. And while he's shopping at the Mystery Shack, who knows? And he's like, do you have anything in the spirit of the season? And Stan picks up a bowl of broken glass. He's like, how about these crystals? And Tyler's like, this looks like broken glass. He's like, what are you, a cop? It's just like, it's real good. I love Stan so much. But the twins walk in. They're like, hey, can we go to the diner? Can we go to eat? We're so hungry. We're like hungry. And Stan's like, yeah, sure, we can go, but first I gotta wait for, this dipshit to fucking make up his mind about something. To which Tyler asks about a fur trout. It's a trout with fur hanging on the wall. And he asks if it has, if it comes in another animal. And Stan's like, you know what? Let's just lock this guy in here and go eat. Because if that's cool with you, that's cool with me. And that's what they do. They leave him there. So Tyler picking between two shirts, a Puma shirt or a Panther shirt. He goes back, a couple times. It's pretty decent as a little gag. I like it a lot. So then we cut to the diner. And it's a log. It's called Greasy's Diner. It's literally just a big log. There's a woodpecker. We get the free pizza guy cameo in his free pizza shirt. We get him while this one lady, who is nameless, she has no name, as far as I know, is trying to beat animals out of the restaurant because, wood-eating animals, it's a big old log. First it's a woodpecker, then it's a beaver she's chasing. Also in the scene is Tambry, Old Man McGucket, Manly Dan, Wendy, and the corrupt police officers who are just seeing how fast they can eat pancakes using a speedometer, a speed meter,
Gravity,
a radar gun.
Radar
gun. That's it.
Gravity. Radar gun. Woman, the one at the start of the scene does not have a name, but she does have a significant voice actor, which I can talk about later.
Awesome. So we get introduced to Lazy Susan, who's called Lazy Susan because one of her eyes is permanently shut. It's not glued shut or anything. The eyelid just does not work. There's a reason for that the show will explain much later, but that's all you get to know for now. Stan's like, hey, Lazy Susan, where were you last night? And she's like, I got hit by a bus. And it's just like, okay. Stan laughs too much, uncomfortably, in my opinion. And he's like, you do split plates, right? And she's like, yeah, sure we do. And so he gets a small portion of a plate for himself, a cup of ranch for Mabel, and a plate of ketchup for Dipper. Because he's cheap.
Which reminds me of a funny story.
Okay.
Which I could get into later.
Alright. Mabel is...
There was a lot of ranch dressing.
There was a lot of ranch dressing, okay. Mabel is unpleased. She's like, but Grunkle Stan, I want pancakes. And he's like, what, with all the fancy flour they use these days? What am I, made of money? And as he brings his arms up to make the grand sweeping gesture of, how dare you, a bill of some sort comes out of his wrist cuffs, which he taps back into his jacket. It's really good. Mabel's sad, but Dipper spots a manliness test, and if you can beat it, you get a whole stack of pancakes for free. And Dipper's like, yeah, don't worry about it. I'm gonna go beat this manliness tester, and we're all gonna have pancakes. They're gonna be great. And Stan and Mabel start laughing at him at the insinuation that he could actually beat the manliness testing machine. It's really good. Dipper is scandalized. He's like, come on, I'm manly. What's so funny? And Mabel's like, you're not exactly Manly Mannington. He's like, I am too manly, Manny. And then he tries, and Stan's like, no, you're not. You're not at all. You smell like baby wipes. You have no muscles. And don't forget about how I caught you singing to Disco Girl by BABA in the bathroom. To which Mabel's like, you listen to Icelandic girlies pop sensation BABA? He's like, no, I wasn't. That's not important. You know, he's very nervous. He's like, I'm super masculine though. Look at my chest hair. And he has no chest hair. It's so bright that it blinds Stan and Mabel, which also causes them to laugh hysterically at him. But Dipper's not going to give up. He's gonna go do this thing anyway. He's gonna get a delicious pancakes so they can eat their words and those pancakes. Everybody in the restaurant is watching him, which is a layer of pressure. Like, why? Why is this a thing? Dipper stalls for a bit, and Stan tells him, "Hey, just fucking do it," you know. And Dipper does his best. He squeezes, and he can't get past Wimp. Like, he tries. It starts to go up, but it ends up on Wimp. And it prints him out a little certificate that calls him a cutie patootie. And he's like, oh, this must be broken. Come on. It's totally broken, guys. It's like 1,000,000 years old. It runs on steam power and probably doesn't have it. Which Manly Dan shows up. And he's like, you know, I'm not even... I wouldn't do it, Manly Dan. Manly Dan touches the machine. It goes like off like, oh, super manly, and it breaks. Everybody gets free pancakes. Dipper gets embarrassed. And he runs out of the restaurant to Mabel and Stan just laughing at him after tripping over a beaver. It's pretty good. Grunkle Stan's like, man, I can't believe I'm related to that kid. Mabel's like, shut up, you have a soft side, you totally do. Stan's like, no, I don't. Dark Soul. And that's when Lazy Susan shows up, and Stan tries his best to talk to her and like compliment her, but he is dumb and he can't talk to girls. To which Mabel's like, oh my gosh, I get it here. I know what's going on. You like Lazy Susan. Stan's like, oh no. It's like, you do. You have a thing for her. You have a soft side. He's like, just keep it down. Would you? It would be nice if you liked me, but you know, I've been in the game so long, I don't know what to do. She's so classy. She'd never date me. Of course, we get a scene of Lazy Susan beating on a broken pie spinner. And Mabel then vows to fix up Stan so that he can get together with Lazy Susan. She's like, there's nothing more powerful than, and Stan's like, love? And she's like, Mabel. It's just like, she's really good. We cut to... True. It is true. Mabel is like, when it comes to like love and setting people up, Mabel is like stupid ridiculous about it. Like, she does not give up. She's not only having her boy crazy summer away from home, she's trying to infect everybody else as much as she can. We cut to Dipper, who is walking down the street until he's blasted with a suddenly destroyed fire hydrant that he just didn't notice. The cops are investigating it. They're like, what could have happened here? One of them suggests that they take off their shirts and run around. The other cop's like, oh, you read my mind, and they do it. Dipper runs into a lady looking for a mailman, and he's like, what, I'm not a male? I'm not a man? Is that what you're saying? Am I not a man? Because he's super sensitive about, you know, what just happened. And he runs away crying into the forest. We cut to the forest with Dipper right away. And he's doing reps. He's trying to get buff. He's lifting a tree branch 3-4 times. And he has to quit. He looks for chest hair. No chest hair. Dipper is just distraught at the fact that he is not manly at all. This is like a great episode just on like toxic masculinity. Like, I think we said that last week. But like, even the bag of jerky that Dipper is eating is called manly jerky. It's like, you're inadequate. And he's like, oh man, I am. This is when a stampede happens. Even Manly Dan is running away from whatever's coming. Dipper narrowly avoids being crushed by a tree, and before him appears a half man, half bull, a minotaur. It's like a minotaur, but he's like a man, tar, minotaur. It's dumb. It is dumb. We find out that this character later. We're going to find out that this character's name is Husba.
Husbar, yes.
and he was summoned by Dipper's jerky. He does scratch his back using a deer, which is weird. And he's like, Dipper's like, don't eat me. And, I'm just all elbows and gristle. It tastes terrible. And Hutzpah's like, look, I don't want to eat you. Give me your jerky. And they were like, oh, okay. Have my jerky. He's like, oh, I can't believe that I'm meeting, like, a minotaur. And, of course, Hutzpah's like, I'm a minotaur. Ugh. It's
Half man and half taur.
Half man, half taur. It's like, they were like, did I summon you with, like whatever? He's like, the jerky summoned me. But he smells emotional issues. It's really good.
I want to point out that for as much as the Manitors are like, hey, I think you need help. Do you need help?
Yeah.
Or kind of a chill guy.
That's why it's kind of chill, but not totally chill, as we'll find out. But Dipper does explain his problems to Hutzpah. He's like, nobody thinks I'm manly. Everybody thinks I'm a wimp, and I flunked this manliness video game thing. Hey, wait a minute. You're pretty manly. Could you maybe, I don't know, give me some pointers? To which Hutzpah says, you know what? Climb atop my back hair, child. Which is gross. There's flies everywhere. And then they run through the forest with Hutzpah just like crashing through everything rather than going around. It's really good. He crashes through a wall after jumping across a divide. And there's a bunch of manitars just being manly in like a man cave. To which Hutzpah says, the gnomes live in the trees. The mer people live in the water because they're losers. But we manitars crashed in the man cave. He hits a gong, which causes all the manitars to like stop what they're doing. And he's like, hey, I brought you this child. This is when Hutzpah introduces us to the rest of the manitars, tells us his name, and Dipper's like, oh, I'm Dipper. And everybody's like, boo, that name sucks. And he's like, the Destructor? They're like, okay, yeah, that's all right. It's really good. And Hutzpah's like, hey, he wants us to teach him our manly ways. And Dipper's like, come on guys, look at me, I'm so hairless, I like suck. To which the Manitar's like, okay, let's confer with each other. And one of them's like, no, he's a human, I don't like him. The other was like, I don't like your face, and they get into a fight. And Dipper's like, these seem like nice guys, I like these guys. We cut back to the Mystery Shack. And Mabel is in full on, I'm going to make over my Grunkle Stan mode. She takes a picture of Stan, like as a before picture, which is really good because she has like an old-timey flash camera. Like, it's got a real powerful flash. They decide that they're going to, I don't even know why Wendy's in this scene. I guess just to like be like, this is messed up. But they do a scene where Zeus is dressed up as Lazy Susan. They're going to have Stan do some practice. He's like, don't worry, you're not going to be judged. I'm just going to sit here and write down everything you do and judge it. Stan walks right up to Zeus and says, hey, can I borrow some money? And Mabel's like, oh my god, this is going to take a lot. We cut back to the man cave. There's just a lot of like there's not punching. They say after a lot of punching, we've decided, nah, we're not going to teach you our manly secrets. You don't deserve to know them. So get out of here. And Dipper's like, oh, all right. I guess that's fine with me because I guess you guys just aren't man enough to train me. You think it'd be too hard. And they're like, what did you say? It's like, yeah, I guess y'all are just a big bunch of, what, did you hear that? And he starts making chicken noises, to which this Mantar is like, I have like 3 Y chromosomes, 6 Adam's apples, and fists for nipples. Like, I can train you in my sleep, sort of. Like, I'm a little out of order here. But he does call them all chickens, and they're like, I don't like this. I don't like being called a chicken. This is like some weird brain magic. Okay, after a second round of deliberation, we're going to help you become a man. They don't like being tricked. which they were tricked. And Dipper's like, yes, this is great. I can't wait. And so now Dipper's going to go through some manliness tests. The first task, and really the only one of the only two tasks we learn about, like by name, is like the first task is he has to put his fist in the pain hole. One Minotaur does is like a pain hole, that's nothing. He does it, he puts it in, and then he starts screaming in pain. Dipper's like, is this really necessary? To which Chuspa's like, yes, it's absolutely necessary. Put your hand in there. Dipper does. We get a good scream out of Dipper. Cut back to Grunkle Stan and Mabel. Mabel's like, I'm not giving up on you. We're going to try to work on that outer beauty because we know there's inner beauty in there. Now work on that smile. Smile better. Smile harder. Yes. And she calls over Zeus to look at this smile, to which Zeus runs away screaming after viewing it. He's like, Mabel's like, okay, it's time for some training music. And it's just a really funny, like, nonsense track that mostly just describes what's happening in the scenes, which is what I'm going to do. So just imagine this music, I guess. Dipper's pulling a cart. He's pulling a party wagon. Mabel's, like, doing her best to, like, shave Grunkle's stand, while Chutzpah's gluing hair to Dipper. It's great. It's a training montage, and it's really good. Dipper is forced to look at, like, those motivational posters, because that'll help him be manly. Drink from a fire hydrant. Mabel still has to shave her hairy Grunkle stand because he is just so hairy. But by the end of it, they're sort of making their goals. Dipper actually jumps over not a ravine, like, whatever. Anyway, thing over. And Dipper's like, oh man, these last 2 hours, they've been great. I feel like so manly. I think there's some growth. To which one of the Minotaurs points to a growth on his head and says, I've got a growth. And it's like, it's a dumb joke. It's really good. He's like, I feel really good. You guys have been so supportive of me. Like, I think I'm finally becoming a man. And Chutzpah's like, no, there's one more task before you can actually become a man. And it's the deadliest trial of all. And Dipper's like, well, I did 49 other trials. I am ready. Just bring it on. And they go through a ceremony of getting Dipper ready by putting peel and stick tattoos all over his body, which is weird, but okay, it's good. We get introduced to Leader R. First, like this old Minotaur comes out, super old. And Dipper's like, oh, is he the leader because he's like the oldest and the wisest? And Chutzpah's like, no, not really. And then we cut back to the old Minotaur being just like devoured by this giant mouth. And they're like, that guy was just like the offering. That's Leader R. What's really interesting is the scene for the summoning of Leader R, where he eats the old man. That's actually cut in some countries for being like too violent or whatever. I guess foreign markets aren't into vor. Which fair.
I would assume.
I'm not into vor either, but whatever. But Leader was like, hey, you want to be a man? Dipper's like, yeah, I do. And he's like, you're going to go to the highest mountain. He pulls a spear out of his body. It's made of bones and like I assume a rock blade of some kind. How that was just like in him, I don't know. But he's like, you're going to go slay the multi-bear. And Dipper's like, what is that, some kind of bear? Leader R is like, this is our sworn enemy, and you're going to go kill him, or you're not going to be a man. And Dipper's like, I don't know about this. To which Chutzpah finds a CD of Baba in Dipper's backpack. And all the other Minotaurs are now like, oh my goodness, what's all this? And Dipper, sorry for the dogs, Dipper decides that yes, he's going to go slay the multi-bear in order to be a man. So we cut to Dipper running through the forest. He's parkouring, using the spear to like cut down trees and jump over crevices. Like he is on a mission. he's going to go slay the multi-bear. The multi-bear lives in like a big mountain cave. It's really neat. He drinks some water. He has the respect of the forest. Dipper does, that is. And he does. He scales the mountain and he finds the cave of the multi-bear, which is really, kind of scary looking, but Dipper's like, I'm going to do it. I'm coming for you, multi-bear. We cut finally back to the Mystery Shack, and Mabel's holding a picture of the before picture. She's like, okay, Grunkle Stan, he started out like this, and it's not very impressive. He's slouched over, he's punching his stomach, he's got a slack jaw expression, and she's like, but you became, and she pulls the picture down, and he is even worse than when they started. And Mabel's like, oh my god, what happened? Is that throw up on your shirt? And he's like, I don't want to answer that. And Wendy's like, look, you're never gonna fix your Grunkle Stan. He's unfixable. It's like that pie spinner at the restaurant. It's never gonna be fixed. To which Mabel's like, oh, I got an idea. Come with me, Grunkle Stan. You don't have to wear your pants. It's gonna be great. And Stan's like, oh yeah, I'm all for it. We cut back to Dipper in the cave. He's like scouting around, and up pops the multi-bear, which is a bear that is made up of bears, like a bunch of bears. And one of the heads, the main head, is intelligent and can actually speak. Dipper's like, hey.
The multi-bear is voiced by veteran actor Alfred Molina. Alfred Molina, friend of the show, who is probably recognizable to our listener demographic as the live-action Dr. Octopus.
Oh, very cool.
He's been in a ton of things. He's actually he's done a lot of cool stuff.
Very nice. Dipper's like, okay, multi-bear, I'm here to like take your head or one of your heads. It doesn't matter. The multi-bear's like, this is dumb. I will kill you. Leave or die. You have a choice. Dipper points the spear, and the multi-bear's like, all right, prepare to get fucked. It's actually pretty good action sequence. Dipper dodges and weaves, and he manages to, knock over the multi-bear after getting a little scraped up by some bones. He like chokes out the multi-bear a little bit and knocks him over. It's actually, not bad. Dipper does his best, and he overcomes the multi-bear. And the multi-bear's like, you know what? You did it. You're a warrior. I respect you. Go ahead and you can kill me, but could you please just grant me one last request? I want to die listening to my favorite song. It's over there in the boombox. It's already in. Just hit any button, hit play, and it's Disco Girl by BABA. The bear's just jamming out to it, and Dipper's like, you listen to Icelandic pop group BABA? I love BABA. And the multi-bear's like, I thought I was the only one. The man tries to make fun of me because I know all the words Disco Girl. The two of them share a touching moment of singing Disco Girl together. They're very happy. Dipper's like, oh, this is crazy. And he's like, somebody who finally understands that but I gotta kill you or I'll never be a man. And the multi-bear's like, it's fine. I accept my fate. It's for the best. And it looks like Dipper's gonna do it, but we cut back to him with the taurs, and he stabs the spear actually into stone and says, he's not gonna do it. I'm not gonna slay the multi-bear. And he's like, you know what? Listen, all you, Batuatar, Fistar, Leader-R, and whatever your name is. I don't know what it is, Beardy. And the guy's like, yeah, it's Beardy. It's pretty good. It's like, yeah, I'm doing all these tasks to be manly and being aggro all the time, but I'm starting to think, that's all malarkey. Yeah, it's malarkey. And they're like, oh my god, gasp, what the fuck? He's like, maybe I don't have hair and muscles. And maybe when a girly pop song comes on the radio, I listen to it because it's catchy, because top 40 hits are top 40 for a reason.
I do want to highlight that line, because it's definitely true. Top 40 songs are in the top 40 for a reason.
Yeah.
And I actually kind of like ABBA.
Oh yeah, ABBA's okay.
It's not like my favorite band or anything, but like, Take a Chance on Me and Gimme 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 a Man After Midnight are both really solid songs.
Yeah, absolutely. They are hits for a reason, like, and whether that's because, there's lots of good marketing around them or they're just catchy, that is just what it is.
Do you like Take a Chance on Me the most? Erasure?
I think
Cover?
the only song that I've heard by ABBA in full is Dancing Queen.
Erasure did a cover of a Chance on Me in the '80s, but they did it as like a drag style cover of like drag of the two female singers in ABBA, and I do like Erasure. Like their two big songs I like a lot, but the drag style cover of Take a Chance on Me didn't work. Erasure, will probably know as. You play the old Flash game Robot Unicorn Attack?
Yeah.
The background song to that is an Erasure song.
Oh, well, there you go.
And actually, have you seen the movie Debs? I'm sure you've seen the movie Debs.
No, have not.
You should see the movie Debs. Like their other big song is "Little Respect," which is one of my all-time favorite songs in the world. Anyway, I like music.
Yeah, music's good. But Hutzpah's like, what are you saying? He's like, and Dimmer's like, I'm not saying the multi-bear. He's a really nice guy, and you're a bunch of jerks for wanting me to cut his head off. Leader stands up, and he's like, yay, if you don't kill the multi-bear, you'll never be a man. Dimmer's like, then I guess I'll never be a man. And he leaves. After they call him weak. Like, boo, weak. But they quickly just get over Dipper and like, hey, who wants to go build something and knock it down? And they're like, yeah, let's go do that. Dipper's, he's distraught because he had a big moment and it's all over. We cut back to the diner and Lazy Susan is still pounding on the pie spinner. And Mabel's like, hey, look, my grunkle, he's not a lot much to look at. But if you like fixing things, nobody needs more fixing than my grunkle stand. And by the way, women live longer than men statistically, and so you don't have a lot of options, so you should lower your standards. It's like, okay then. And Grunkle says like, oh, well, what do you say, Lazy Susan? And she walks away. Grunkle stands sad. But she only walked away so she could come back with her number and a free slice of pie for him. Because she's like, yeah, okay, why not? Lazy Susan doesn't have big standards to begin with.
I don't think so, no.
No. They sit down to eat their pie, and Mabel's like, oh, you gonna call her? You should call her now. We don't have a phone. We could get a phone. We'll put it on a credit card. Let's get a credit card. And Carl says, like, just let me eat my pie. They spot Dipper, or Mabel spots Dipper, and she, like, calls him into the restaurant, more or less. And Dipper comes in, and Mabel's like, hey, did you see me? He's like, yeah, I did see you. And they notice that Dipper's looking a little sad. And Mabel's like, what's wrong? He's like, I don't want to talk about it. Growl says, oh, good. Thank goodness. But Dipper starts talking about it. He's like, oh, no. He's like, I met up with these half-man, half-bull humanoids, and they were going to teach me how to be a man. But they wanted me to do something that was really horrible and tough. And I said no, because it wasn't right. And Growl says, like, so you were your own man. You stood up for yourself. Good for you, They're like, he's like, what'd you say? He's like, you didn't do something because it wasn't right, and that sounds pretty manly to me, and it's really good. Like your Uncle Stan, says something nice to Dipper, and it doesn't happen super often, but when it does, it's really nice. He really builds Dipper up when he does it. Dipper has actually grown his first chest hair, and he's super proud of it. And that's when Mabel plucks it off, and she puts it in her scrapbook. Grunkle says, hey, don't worry about it. If you're anything like me, you're going to get a lot of it. To which he rips off his shirt to reveal all the chest hair and body hair that he has. And Dipper's like, that's disgusting. The end credit scene is Grunkle Stan dodging a phone call from Lazy Susan. And it's just a long take of her like, hey, you should call me sometime. Here are all my cats. And that's the end of the episode. The cryptogram, once decoded, spells out Mr. Caesarean will be out next week. Mr. Abash will substitute, which I don't know what that means. That all meant something.
Tasarian and Atbash are cipher keys.
Ah.
So they changed from the Tasarian cipher key to the Atbash cipher key.
Gotcha. Well, all right then. There we go. That's what that is.
I thought this episode was a lot of fun. A lot of great moments. Good.
It's a classic.
Again, there's not really bad episodes of.
Yeah, there's not really bad episodes of Gravity Falls, in all honesty.
Let's see. Couple of. I do want to say that I really liked Stan's comment near the end. On the one hand, it's kind of a fairly standard message about like peer pressure, being your own person, things like that. But I've always thought that like self-definition is a pretty important part of forging your own identity as like an independent adult.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that really bugs me is that the people say that they most value standing up for yourself and being who you want to be and like defying conformity and like saying some sides against them are always turn to the shittiest, conformist, reactionaries as soon as they see something they don't like. It's more often than not trans people, and trans people are the people who spend most time and effort on self-definition and forging their own identity.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, these people are just paper tigers. But yeah, a good episode. I have.
All right.
So we talked about Alfred Molina, but I said I would talk about the woman. It's like
The shopkeeper.
sweeping the. Yes, that is a voice actress you will recognize.
That's Azula.
Yes, that is Grey Lyle.
Mm-hmm. I believe she's known as Grey Griffin these days, isn't she?
Possibly. It's really hard to tell with voice actors' names because they use different names and non-subjects.
Hmm.
Like a lot of voice actors will have, 3, 4, 5 alternate names. Like Stephen Bloom. You know Steve Bloom.
Yeah.
He also acts under David Lucas.
Oh, didn't know that.
For example. Yeah, a lot of voice actors will do some roles as like modifications of their name, like they might use their middle name as their surname, or swap them, or use abbreviation, or like use nicknames or different initialisms. Point is, so like if Grey Delisle is using Grey Griffin, it's probably that. But she might have also like gotten married or something. I don't know. But yeah, Grey Delisle is a great voice actor, long career. Grey Delisle, friend of the show.
I don't know about that.
What is next week? Next week is
Double Dipper, or Double Dipped.
It's one of the first episodes I saw, and I still really like it.
You don't really like this episode?
Unless I do really like it.
Oh, you do really like it. Okay.
One of like the first 3 I saw. Saw the pilot, saw Double Dipper, and I saw the one after Double Dipper, National Treasure.
Yeah. Double Dipper is actually a pretty significant episode because it introduced us to some more of the core cast, which hasn't been introduced yet. I mean, they're secondary characters, but they do appear more often than not. No, that's not right. They appear often. I'll say that. Boom. And I think that's it for this week.
Oh, seems like we're about done.
All right. So where can people find you online if they want to like talk to you about stuff?
I am on Twitter way too much. I am at Dr. C Monster. That's at DRC Monster. Come to my Twitter where you can see me build really complex Lego projects that I got on clearance.
Nice. You can find me, as always, on Twitter at DatFirePrincess, spelled D-A-T. You can find me on my numerous podcasts I do. I do a lot of podcasts. I do 2 more often than the others, but, just is what it is. I do the Studio Trigger podcast here with Dr. Sea Monster. I do a Ramen 1/2 podcast with my good friend World Eater Viv. And I'm doing podcasts. That's what I'm doing. I also have a YouTube channel, Fire Princess Reviews, which I haven't updated in 2 months because I haven't felt like it. And I'm around. If you look for me, you'll find me. That is pretty much my for lots of different platforms, actually. So hit me up, and we'll talk about stuff. I should really start posting question posts before we record to see if we get any questions about episodes and stuff. But I haven't yet. But we're gonna start doing that soon. But remember, folks, until next time.
Reality is a hologram. The universe is...
Reality is illusion. The universe is a hologram. Bye, Gold. Bye.
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 Oh, not again!
Message number 36.
Hey, handsome. It's me, Lazy Susan, calling to say hi. Hi. My cat also wanted to say hi. Say hi, Donald. Good, Sandy, you say hi. Mr. Catface, now it's your turn to say... Mr. Catface. Anyway, call me back.
How do I get out of this?